Hello again. So in this video I'm going to go through all of the plugins and extensions which I use with SketchUp on a daily basis, which makes my life a lot easier, speeds up the workflow and just makes things much more simple and quicker. A lot of them I combine with shortcut keys and just makes the workflow that bit easier. I've used most of them for the last 2 or 3 years, so it might well be that there's newer versions or better alternatives out there. So if you know of anything, just leave a comment below and I'll have a look and maybe make another video. I'm not going to go into too much detail on each one for this video. It's just literally just to show you what they are and very briefly what they do. I will be making more in-depth videos for each one, like a review and tutorials, etc. And I'll leave links to those down below if you are interested in any of them in particular. So the first plugin is something called Flex Tools, and it's actually a suite of tools which do various things, but they have one in particular called the Component Finder, which is here. And all this is something linked to all my saved components on my hard drive, and it's just a really quick, convenient way to access them. So I've got all these different cabinet ranges stored. All these folders represent a different range and door style, and then within each folder I've got sort of base cabinets, countertops, tall cabinets. So if I go into base cabinets, that's further subdivided into the different kinds of base cabinets. We've got drawer packs, full height doors, etc. So if I just want to bring a cabinet in, let's just go to, say, a drawer pack, 2-pan drawer, and then just click it in and bring it in, and then it's straight into our scene, that quick. And then again, let's say I want a tall cabinet. Just go to tool cabinets, let's say pull out larders, all the different sort of sizes. Let's have that one there, and then we'll just sort of put them into place in our model. It will of course work in 3D or whatever sort of however you like to work. So let's have this little tall slim one, put him in here, oops, flip him round, and then you can just sort of put him into place wherever you want. One good advantage is the component search box. So let's say we go to another sort of range here, and I go into base cabinets and I want a particular size. Let's say these, and you can just type in the top box there, let's say a 600 width, and then all the 600 width cabinets will show and all the others will disappear. So another advantage that Flex Tools has over the standard SketchUp components importer is you can pin these tabs, like these sort of oblong white things here, and all they are shortcuts to certain folders on my hard drive. So the way it works for me in a really good way, if I just double click that, if I want to quickly put an end panel or a filler post in, which isn't part of any standard cabinet range, they're already pinned to the component finder. So if I go back into my 2D mode, so let's just quickly put another cabinet in. We'll put a full height door, we'll put this little 400 cabinet there, just snap it to that one there, and let's say we want to have an end panel then. So all I do is I double click on the end panel, little fly out, click which one I want, there we go, flip him round, put him on the end, and there we go. Just put that on the floor. And that's pretty much it, really. You can add as many shortcuts here as you want to different ranges, different styles of cabinets, and yeah, makes life a lot easier. So the next plugin I want to show you is a really useful one which I use constantly. It's called Rotate 90. So if you go to the Sketchup warehouse, you can download it for free. This is the one by Clark Bremner. And what this allows you to do is very quickly flip any object 90 degrees in any axis. So as a quick example, let's just go into 3D here. Let's just take this chair and we'll copy it just to put it outside of the room. So the best way to use this plugin is to link it to shortcut keys. So if I want to quickly rotate it, I just click Shift and B and it will rotate it 90 degrees around the blue axis, or Shift and R 90 degrees around the red axis, or Shift and G 90 degrees around the green axis. And if you had to do that with the native SketchUp tool, you have to click the item, you have to bring in the rotate tool, you have to anchor it somewhere, and then click once, click twice, type 90 degrees, press enter, and it's a very cumbersome, tiresome way to do it. So using Rotate 90 just makes it so much quicker. So just to give you an example of how I use it within a kitchen model, let's say I want to bring some cabinets in using our Flex Tools extension. So come in here, let's say we want a 600 cabinet, so we choose this one. So as you can see, it's facing the wrong way, so you quickly Shift and B and it will flip it round, and then you can put it into place. So let's put some more cabinets in, and you can see just how quickly that's working. No need to use the rotate tool at all. And then, so let's say we want to put some on this opposite wall here. Just click a cabinet at random, click it a couple of times, and then it snaps to the wall. And that's how easy it is to use. So obviously you can use it in 3D mode as well. I'll just click to the relevant scene. So another way I find this tool really useful, let's say we want to dress the scene a little bit, we want to put some decorative items in the scene. So if we just open our SketchUp cabinet importer, so these are just some little decorative items which I use quite often in a scene. So let's just have this little thing here, but let's say I want it on this wall. Just quickly press Shift and B and you can see how quickly it flips around, and then we just snap it into place. So the next amazing extension on the list is something called Profile Builder, which is a really useful tool for making worktops, cornice, pelmet, upstands, tiles, all sorts of things. So it's available again from the SketchUp warehouse from Mindsight Studios. It is a paid extension, but you can get 30 days free trial with it, which is worth to do, but it's worth the money if you're serious about what you do in SketchUp. So here you can see the toolbar. I'm not going to go into too much detail on what every single thing does. I'm just going to show you how I use it in this video, just to keep it brief. So we're just going to use this first little button now, which is the profile dialog. If you click on the little magnifying glass or the search glass, and this little sort of present box, you can see all the standard profiles which are included in the plugin. So as a quick demo of how it works, let's say we choose this crown molding here, and then just move these out the way, and then this little button at the bottom left, which is the build button. Click it once, and then you just literally click in each corner or at each point that you want to add the profile. So it works like the SketchUp native follow me tool, but it's just much quicker and easier. So just press space to exit, and there you can see we've got a nice crown molding on the ceiling there. But I'm just going to delete that because we don't want it in this particular model. Another really useful feature is you can make your own bespoke moldings, so you can either make them yourself or import them from the 3D warehouse or wherever is 2D models, and use them as the basis to make whatever you want. So just to demonstrate that, let's make a quick cornice profile. I'll just start off by making a rectangle, and then I'm going to use the line tool and the arc tool just to make a quick random cornice. There's the arc tool. Click once there, once there. Yep, something like that. That'll do. Doesn't have to be anything perfect for now. So just click on the face, make sure that's highlighted, and then go to our box and press this little plus button here. Then we'll give it a name. We'll call it Cornice 1. Press OK. And then the next thing we'll do is set the anchor point. So you can see this little red dot, and that is where it will anchor to, where you set your points in the model. So we don't want it in the center, we want it on the bottom right here. So we'll click the bottom right, and then I want to flip it round. It's just, I prefer to work clockwise and it works better that way. So let's go back to our 3D scene, and we're going to put this on top of all of the wall cabinets and the tool cabinets. So again, to place it in our model, just click this little button here, the build button, and then we just set the points that we want it to align to. And there we go. So let's carry that round onto this run. So we click our build button and just click the points where we want to set the intersections. And then spacebar to get out of it. And then we've got a cornice on this side as well. And then of course you can change it to the same color however you want. Do the same to that one. And it's a really quick, effective way to make these sort of trims and moldings, and it's much quicker than using the follow me tool. And one thing I really like to use it for is actually to make worktops. Just again saves a lot of time faffing about. So I've got a saved worktop profile, just 20mm. So all you do, you just click on the end points, click in the corner, and it will even make like a miter joint for you if you want it. So we've got a nice looking worktop there. You will have to make a sink cutout unless you've got some special cut face component for your sink, but that's easy enough to do. Just use the push-pull tool to push it back a bit. And you can also do an upstand. Let's pop that into the model. Oops, click on the build button and just click on the corners. There you go. And it's the same if you want to do some tiling, you want to put a plinth on, so many things you can use it for. So yeah, great extension, saves me so much time. So this next extension is something that has been specifically made for me. I got a developer to make it for me, and all it is, it's a very simple resize and reposition tool, but it's I find it much simpler and quicker to use than doing it with the standard Sketchup tools. So in Sketchup, if you have a component and you want to change any of the dimensions or positions, you have to select it, right click, go to dynamic components, then go to component attributes. Then you have to sort of click on this little plus button, and then if it's position, go to the position, and then you can change it there. Or if you want to change the size, again, you've got to click the little plus button, just change whichever size you want. Let's change the length here to 1 meter. So although it does the job, it's a bit of a roundabout way of doing it, because you've got to navigate through all of those menus, and then when you finally get to the component box, you've again got to open the position and size boxes. So the extension which I've had developed for myself just does that in a much easier way. All it is, I've got a shortcut key, which is just Control R. And then whatever I click on immediately pops up this little box, so you can change any of the dimensions at the top or any of the positions at the bottom. So let's change this to a 900 cabinet. Just type 900, and there we go, we've changed the width of it. If we want to change the height, again, just type in the height. So let's just redo those, or undo them rather. And let's say we want to change the position, let's say along the y-axis. So here you can see it's at 0.6565 mil. So let's say we want to move it 500 mil to the right. You just add 500 to that, so it becomes 7065, and press enter, and it will move it to wherever you want. So a bit of calculation required, but once you get used to it, it's quite easy to navigate. And let's say we want to move it up 100 mil. So at the moment it's at 0 on the z-axis, so just type 100 mil and up it goes. And that's more helpful, let's say when you're placing wall cabinets or something. So let's say I know that these need to be 1400 from the floor. Of course we can position them manually, but the whole point of this extension is you can do it really quickly to the position you want. So if I group those, and then I do the shortcut key, and then I type in 1400, then straight away we can just move them to the position I want. And then if you want to, let's say, I don't know, just nudge it to the left or the right again. So just, let's say 50 mil to the left, just change that, and you can position it exactly wherever you want. And just one more example to show you where it can be useful. Let's say you've got this window space and you've just imported this window, but it's not wide enough to fill the space. So you just take the tape measure tool, measure the window. So we've got 2064. So activate the extension, click the shortcut, and so on the length, just type in 2064, and there you see it fits the hole exactly. So it's another place where it's useful. So the next extension on the list is something called 1001 bit tools, which is a really popular plugin for SketchUp. You can see it's had over 1.5 million downloads. And what it is, it's a series of different tools that you can use. I've already got it installed. So if I bring up the toolbar, you can see that there's all these different features that it does, which is a great addition to any SketchUp model. But I actually mainly use it just for one thing, which is to create windows. So how it works is, say you've got your window cut out already, you've done your measurements, so you know the position where it is. You've got a grouped wall which has a thickness to it, as you can see. So first of all, you just draw a rectangle over the window, really easy to do. So that's ungrouped geometry. Then you go up to your extensions menu, go on to 1001 bit tools, and then on the drop down menu, doors and windows, and then you go to create window frame. Just click that top one, and then you'll see this box pop up, which is all your options. You've got 3 different types of window, depending on if you want a more complex frame, but I just stick on the basic one. And then here on the right you've got these different parameters, which is just the frame depth, the recess depth, the frame width. It's all self-explanatory and easy to change. And then you can place the window on the front, middle or back, so I just leave it on back for now. Click create window frame, click on the rectangle that you've just made, and that's done the main window. The only thing you have to do after that is add the glass material. So if you triple click into the model, bring up your materials tray and click on glass, whichever glass you've saved. You can use SketchUp glass, and there we go, that's our window. So just show you that one more time from scratch. Let's say we make a little opening, then we push pull it, so we've got our opening there. Come out of the group, draw a rectangle, up to the menu, click on create window, and then there you go. It's that easy, so quick. So the next extension is something called Fredo Corner. It's something that enables you to very quickly put a rounded edge or a beveled edge to a component. So it's really useful for things well, mainly like worktops is what I use it for. So let's say I've just added a worktop here, and as you can see, it's just basically got a square edge. For rendering purposes, it's nice to have a little bevel on the top and sometimes the bottom. It just reflects the light better. So if we had to do this with the normal SketchUp tools, we'd probably use the Follow Me tool, or well, actually the push-pull tool. So let's say we drew a little bevel on the top here. We could get the push-pull tool, and then we could just sort of push it like that. But there's a much easier way if we use Fredo Corner. So all we do is click into the group and then select either the face or the edges you want. In this case, if we select the face, it will do sort of all four sides as a bevel. Click on this green little icon here. Then here you can change the bevel parameters like the offset. I'm going to leave it at 2 mil, otherwise it will be, well, that's what we want. But if let's say we change it to 4, you'll be able to see like these guides will change. So I'm just going to change it back to 2, and then click on Generate Geometry, and then click out the group, and there you can see we've got a nice little bevel on the edge of the worktop. So just going to undo that, and let's say instead of a bevel we just wanted a rounded edge. You click on this yellow icon here. Again, it's 2 mil. Let's make that a little bit more. Let's make that 4 mil. And then click on Generate Geometry, and then if we zoom in, you can see we've got a nice sort of rounded edge on it. But for rendering purposes, I prefer the bevel. Although it's simpler looking, it takes up less time when doing the rendering. So this next extension is a useful little thing, especially when you want to do floor plans and add annotations, or add anything to a particular scene that you only want to show in that scene. The extension's called Get and Hide Tags. So let's just pull that up so you can see where it is from the extension warehouse. This is it, or Get Tags and Hide rather. And that's by Manu Bekor. Again, it's a free little extension, very simple but really really useful extension. So I've already got it installed. So it works with any SketchUp object or component, dimension, text, anything that you can add or assign a tag to, it will affect. So as an example, let's just say we're annotating this floor plan. So I'll just write here base one door 600, and then let's just put him on that cupboard there. And so we want to assign that to a tag. So we open our tag window and we put it on here, Anot's Kitchen, which means Annotations Kitchen. So now that's on the kitchen annotations, which is the same as all of the other annotations that I've done. So if we open our tag little window and then I unhide all of the kitchen annotations, you can see it's all disappeared. So let's make them appear again. But the problem is, once we've done that, if we go to some of our other scenes, these are some render views, you can see here that the annotations are showing in every single scene. So let's just see some more. And it can get annoying when you want to change stuff and you want to move stuff and you accidentally click on an annotation. So you don't want those visible. So rather than sort of hide them in each scene, I mean, you could, let's just go back to this scene here. You could pull up the tags menu and then unhide it and then update it. That's one way to hide it, but then you'd need to do that for every single scene, which can be just a bit time consuming. So what this extension does is gives you a shortcut. So let's go back to our plan view. So let's say we only want the annotations to show on this 2D plan here, which is this, this scene, Plan View Kitchen. So all you need to do once the extension's installed is right click on any object or text, and then if you look at the bottom here, this little line will have appeared in the dialog box which says hide tags in other scene. So just left click that, and very simply now, any text which has this tag of annotations kitchen will be hidden. So if we go back to some of the other scenes we went to before, just give it a second and just scroll through, you can see it's all of the text has disappeared, all of the annotations have disappeared from all of the other scenes. So yeah, it works with anything. If you have like a decorative item, or I don't know, just one thing in one scene and you only want it in that scene, then this is the extension that you need to use. So the next extension I want to show you is something called Vray, and it's a rendering program, and it will take a scene from a Sketchup model like this and turn it into this. So just to show you some more examples. So you can find the extension from the extension warehouse. I just type in Vray in the search box, but that'll take you to just the launch page, and then you'll have to visit the extension website to actually download it. So let's go to the website, and there you can choose which application you want to download it for, because it works with various other 3D packages. So obviously we want Vray for SketchUp. It's got a free trial. I think that's 30 days, so that's worth having a look at. It's not so expensive because you can pay per month. I can't even remember how much it is now. So yeah, 30 quid a month. So if you're a serious professional designer, then that's not a lot to pay for such a good program. So once you've downloaded the plugin, there's various different toolbars, but really you only need to use this this main toolbar here. I'm not going to go into much detail at all on this video because it's a very complex program, although you only need to know a little bit of it to enable you to make some good renders. I mean, I would say I probably only know 20% of what the settings do, but once you know the basics, you can make some pretty good images. And I'll be making some videos as tutorials, just the basics for what you need to know. So I'll leave a link for that down below. So it basically allows you to create realistic materials, lighting, various different objects. And then you can just sort of play around with loads of settings. I mean, just as a very basic example. So here we have, this is the color of our kitchen cabinets, a cashmere color. And if we want to change the reflection, let's say just increase the reflection intensity, and you can sort of see this little spot of light. This example thing, this little weird tennis ball, is just to show you the changes in real time. So this is just the reflection setting, but there's, I don't know, hundreds of settings you can go into, but I won't touch on it too much now. So it allows you to do test renders as you go along, so you can adjust the lighting in the scene and the different colors. So this will give you a very rough render, but just enough to get a basic idea of what a finished render will look like. And then once you're happy with it, you can do a full render just by clicking the teapot. And to get a decent looking render, if you've got a modern laptop and a good graphics card, it should take you probably about 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to do like a really high quality one, you know, it can take 45 minutes to an hour sometimes. However, the reason it's such a good program is it allows you to do what's called cloud rendering, which is this little cloud thing here. So what that does is uploads the SketchUp scene to the Vray servers, then all the rendering's done on their servers, which is massively quicker. I mean, what would take maybe 20 minutes, half an hour on my laptop, which has a good graphics card, will probably take 4 or 5 minutes on their server. And the other thing is you can do as many renders as you want at the same time. So I could have 10 renders processing and I could still work on my SketchUp model at the same time, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were rendering on your local machine. So I'll leave it there for now because there's no point getting into it any further because there's so much to it. But I will be, as I said, doing some other video tutorials specifically for Vray sometime in the near future. So I'll leave a link down below. And it's also worth mentioning there are quite a few alternatives to Vray, Enscape being one of them, which is also really good. Lumion is another, and you can find some more on the extension warehouse. But I primarily use Vray for myself because I know it quite well, and I really like the ability to do the cloud render. So yeah, that's Vray. So thanks a lot for watching to the end. I hope it's been useful for you. As I said, I'll be making quite a few videos to go a bit more in depth of all of these extensions and other things. But if there's anything particular you'd like me to do video wise, just leave a comment or contact me. I'll be happy to do it if I can. So yeah, have a great day, week, month, wherever you are, and see you in the next video.